It is MahalaMonday time. Good hello. That's a new word. Here we go. How's everybody doing? I trust you are just amazingly well. My name is Dougal. Thank you for joining us. As always, Rhoda is here. Hello.
Hello, Dougal. Welcome everybody on this very cold evening. And I know it's cold in Johannesburg as well. And it's cold in Cape Town and extremely cold in Cape Town. So
Yes.
welcome, and I hope you got your cup of coffee, or like, you know what, when it's raining outside, I know of a lot of mothers that's got their pots of soup ready in the morning or ready for the evening. So I know there's a lot of soup out there, so enjoy it.
You say raining. It's been raining. Forget cats and dogs. It's been raining chickens and ducks. It's been foul. It's been, it's been proper rain. Like people sell fish on the side of the road. They had nothing to sell because the stock left. Just went down the road. It says fish swam away.
Fish swam away. And Dougal, how was your Father's Day? Happy
Brilliant.
Father's Day
Yes.
to you.
Thank you. Thank
all
you.
the
Yes.
fathers out there, I hope you had a fabulous Father's Day.
It was good. It was good. Father's Day was very, very good. Brilliant. I got everything I wanted. And sadly, it ended at midnight. But, Monday. But, it was brilliant. Father's Day was, I like to call it happy birthday to me.
There we go.
Yeah, no, but it wasn't.
You can celebrate 2 birthdays.
Yeah, no, Father's Day is fantastic, and it is. I hope you got to spoil Dad. I really hope you got to spoil Dad. And the good thing is, in case you haven't, you can still do it today, because dads don't, we don't remember everything.
So you want to keep on the celebration? Okay.
Interactive it is. All right, so we're looking forward to your questions and comments or whatever you have. If you've got a tricky question for Rhoda, then please put it in there, and we look forward to that. And you've got a comment regarding the week and what has been happening, we look forward to that as well. So what we've done is we've looked at some intriguing stories, things that we feel you should know, but also like weird and wonderful, and like, why is that even in the news? So we've done all of that. So we're having a bit of fun tonight. We're just going to do that. And Rhoda's lined up some stories that we've got to have an opinion on, at least. So
our opinion.
Yeah.
Just remember that.
But definitely, if you've got a comment about it, let us know. We will look forward to that as well. Of course, the details at the bottom of your screen. All right, and remember, as always, like, share, and just do that, please, as a belief.
Exactly, and we'll look at your comments, and you know what, just give us your point of view. And remember, this is our opinions. This is not law or rule or anything. It's us basically venting and telling you what we think about this news.
All right, so what do we got?
So the first one, Dougal, which I was like, seriously, is this where we're finding ourselves right now? I was kind of looking at, should I be venting, or I feel like venting? I was kind of in a funny mood. But yeah, so our license machines is working again. You know, your car licensing.
Driving
there we
license.
go. Those ones there. So our machines were out apparently for 3 weeks, and they had to do maintenance. So my question is, do we only have one machine? Like,
Not for the first time.
Not for the first time.
Not for the first time. This is a repeat thing, which is also very sad news for me, because I can't sell fake licenses anymore. No, I don't. But so, we only got one machine.
And guess what the backlog is? The backlog over the last, so they say 5 weeks, because obviously it was 3 weeks repairs and 2 weeks. I don't know what's the other 2 weeks, what happened. It currently stands at 350,000 backlog. So good luck there for the machine, I should say.
Do you know what? And I remember the story when it broke a couple of weeks ago. I think it was just in a month that it broke, because, the machine broke. So apparently we have one, we had two, and we used the other one, and they got to get the parts from wherever, obviously from not here. They got to get the parts from a very distant place that comes via the post office. So well done.
Okay.
You're just eagerly anticipating the arrival.
Sorry, you're talking post office, and I don't want to mess up with it. I actually got a letter today. Sorry, I picked it up in the letter box today. It was dated the 4th of May, Dougal. It arrived at my box in front yesterday.
Oh, I've got to tell you something about
4th of May.
Yeah. So,
wow, well done, post office.
And then obviously they blame it on load shedding and a part broke. But the thing is, come on, man, it's a developing country. We need better. Those things don't even look nice. I think we could have a better card, like something more credit card.
And a prettier
yeah,
face.
I think we could have something like that, and then something that's a bit easier to update and easier to maintain. Come now, whoever thought of that? It was a good idea at the time when that licensing thing started in 1995. but it is clearly now time to move on. You can't have one machine for a population of nearly 70. Who's doing this? Who's running the motor transport? Who come now? You know, the IQ is the same of the room temperature. Please, asseblief toch. Let's not. No, come now. You can't have. Do you know what I mean?
So true, Dougal.
And they pull you over if you don't have a license.
Exactly.
Printer don't work.
The printer don't work. Yeah. So there we go.
Yeah, anyway.
Then, guys, there is a shortage out there at the moment, especially in the Western Cape. There's an urgent need for blood. This is the article we got from is IOL. So that's where we got the article. So the Cape Town, the Western Cape Blood Service experienced a critical blood shortage, and donors are needed to donate blood urgently. There's a critical shortage of the O and B blood groups, which is only 2 days supply left. Dougal, 2 days supply left. And then for further information to find closest, you must find your closest blood donation clinic, or locally encouraged to visit the www.wcbs.org.za to go and find out where you can go and donate blood. So guys, I mean, 2 days, type O and B.
Yeah. Now, it is quite critical in terms of the stockpiles.
Exactly.
But it is something that we got to consider. Listen, I got to tell you, I've donated blood, and but my father is like Olympic level at donating blood. He started donating blood at a very young age, when when you could start doing it.
Yeah.
So he's amassed, and they work in like pints or whatever.
Yeah.
He's amassed like a lot. So every time he donates, he gets like a gift or something, and well respect. But we're talking 60 years of commitment here.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? So there are people who do this. So please, let's not be negative about this. Oh, negative.
Be positive.
Be proper about it. So, but it is definitely a shortage, and yeah, it's definitely something. And especially if you know your blood type, and if your resistance is something that is not, you know, like O positive, or you know, something that's so commonly found. If you like one of them rare types, then it is quite important.
It becomes a bit of a problem,
to do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, you might hear a meow here and there because we got the MahalaMonday cat has made a visit today.
That is true. And like we were saying, it's raining cats and dogs.
Yeah.
So in our case, it's cats.
Apparently the roof is leaking. But if he jumps on the table, it'll be great.
Don't get afraid.
It's quite, you know.
It's all over. So the other thing that we're looking at, Dougal, which everybody, the news is running basically crazy at the moment, is the Western Cape floods.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So we were joking about cats and dogs, but there's been proper rain over the last while, and it's been hard.
Look at that picture, and there's a lot of pictures that's been going through basically on social media, and it's really, you know, you always see this overseas, and you know, where they've got these floods and things happening. You never thought it would actually happen in the Western Cape. And then one of the funny comments when I was watching the news this morning, they said, for a Cape Townian to complain about the wind, then you must know it's very windy. I was like, geez, that's true. I didn't think of it like that.
What? Looking at that picture, not to make fun of, and I just want to sit here so you can actually, somebody is carrying somebody there.
Oh,
piggyback.
there I see.
And I don't want to make fun. I don't want to make light of a dire situation, but one of those two people can't swim. I don't want to make fun of it, but
shame, true.
But it is. Do you know what? Unfortunately, weather, act of God, and all of that. And but the thing is, you gotta have a moment, Rhoda, in all seriousness. You gotta have a moment and reflect on this, where you go, you know what? I want to do something. Then buy a bunch of blankets. Do you know what I mean? Just be a bit more, because sadly people, and especially if you're in an informal settlement, when this sort of thing happens, there's nothing.
There's nothing.
When we're talking absolute poverty, the only thing underneath you is death. It's not like you go to I'm poor, I struggle, bitchy poor, and all of that.
Exactly.
This is how it happens. But these are some of the pics. Where did you get these pics?
These pics, let me see, that was with SABC News, So they sponsored, basically, at least this is one of their pictures that we're having a look at. And you know what, Dougal? I mean, I felt like I was up all night. And the amount of wind that was howling, and the rain. And the first thing I was thinking about, you know what, the guys are staying in these shacks and living in squatter camps and that. And, you know, just the experience that they have to evacuate or having to live under these conditions.
No, that is harsh.
It's very harsh.
So do spend a thought. And also, when you do see animals walking 2 by 2, then you know. the water is coming. All right, we got a comment on the social media, so let's have a look at that quickly. We got people commenting, which is brilliant. On the social media, we'll have a comment coming up there.
Really? Oh, Mr.
On
Dizzy.
licenses, why do we still pay TV licenses?
Oh,
All right.
my word.
I do not know, but it's a great question that Rhoda will know. Why do we still... You mean like why are we required by law to do? It is something that you are required to do by law.
It is
all right?
something,
It is
yeah.
something that you are required, and I'm going to actually let me give a proper answer.
Okay.
It is something that you are required by law because you know a lot of people obviously that is how they generate income in terms of the Broadcasting Commission of South Africa. So we are required to do that by law. However, it does become tricky though when you can stream so many things. We are not required to pay it, and I'm not in all means saying don't pay it. But I always had this beef, and it is an interesting topic where I had a DSTV package, which mind you, by the way, have actually now just, I think it was earlier today or last night, that stated that they've approximately, I think it was 150,000 subscribers have stopped their multi-choice subscription. And I always thought, because I always looked at the TV license payment when it was 200 Rand. I always felt a bit of a grudge, and I always thought, surely that could just be equated into my DSTV subscription.
Exactly,
You know, like the 10 Rand every
which
month
makes
kind of
sense.
thing. I always thought they could do that. But they also losing. But it is important to pay your TV license. Otherwise, and we need a national broadcaster. This is the thing. We can't really not have one. It's a greater thing. So it is important to pay your TV license. And yes, Hubert now. And why
That's
can't
Hubert.
they combine the driver's license and the new ID card? Do you know what?
That is
Actually,
the
let's
truth.
just go back. Wait, let me first finish with TV license.
Okay,
I'll
go the
fast.
TV license.
Just go
quickly
fast.
sorted
So it's
first.
important to pay the TV license, and please pay your TV license. It is important. You're going to have to come up with a proper story why you don't pay your TV license. I'm for no one, I'm not saying don't pay it, but I'm just saying they normally come around at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock at night. Maybe don't answer the door.
Don't open.
No, I'm not saying that.
We're not
Then
saying
why
that.
can't
Remember
they
our
combine?
opinions.
It's a brilliant idea. Why don't they not combine those two? Because surely the technology exists where you could swipe a card and it could just give you everything on the card. If you're working from a centralized system, yes, you got a driving license. Yes, you got a PDP. Yes, you've paid your TV license.
TV
Do you know what I
license
mean?
on
On your ID card. Surely the
don't put the TV
technology
license
exists
on
about instead of having a machine that can only print one thing. Prints 500 cards, and nobody's got a license now for 6-7 years. And surely we could work with the system here.
Exactly.
I think that's a brilliant idea.
It's a brilliant idea.
Do you see? This is how the ideas come.
There we go.
This is how it comes. Because once again, whoever's in charge, it's cold. That's the room temperature is the IQ level of who's leading here. Make no mistake. It's
And I believe there was
but
a
thanks
video.
for the question.
Yeah, thanks, there, guys.
Oh, we're going back to the floods.
Yeah, just a quick one. Apparently, was a video on YouTube that happened today, Dougal. So in the Western Cape, and this was quite scary. I think we can just play the video quickly.
Oh, goodness.
We'll be able to play it.
Aina. Is it?
Yeah, that was a bakkie. So the tree fell on top of the bakkie. And I mean, imagine you driving. This is the person driving, and this thing just comes smashing down on you. So just for everybody, both the occupants of the vehicle were fine. They weren't injured. They basically just got out of the vehicle. So
They saw this happen, obviously.
yeah, so yeah, they were in the bakkie, obviously, and the street came down. So my warning out there as well, you know what, there has been warnings that's been going out, you know, just to be careful when you're on the road. So please, guys, take a year. The wind has been really bad.
Following distance.
Yes, exactly. I
As
don't
I
even
believe.
think that would have helped there. Really,
No,
Dougal.
because if a tree fall, following distance.
So just be careful on the roads. And you know what? You know how many bakkies I went to yesterday? I went off through to Stellenbosch side. There was a bakkie that overturned. The roads are wet, guys. You cannot be going at 140 on a wet road, and there's puddles everywhere. So please just be careful out there and keep your following distances. And those guys that go speeding on the N1 or N2, please slow down.
He says, Shrouding Motsateng is the reason why I don't pay TV license.
Hey,
He's
Hubert's
no
on the-
longer involved with the SABC. He's no longer involved. No longer.
Okay, so can we move on? So
Oh, I wanted to say earlier when you mentioned post office, there was a celebratory story about somebody who received last week a package of 11 years ago.
oh yes, I saw that one. Sorry guys, I
I
forgot
forgot
to
I
tell
wanted
you
to
about
mention.
this.
How cool is that? 11 years.
11 years. I saw. Did you see what that box looked like?
Yeah.
It's a
The
pretty sorry
box was in
guys. Sorry
puberty.
director, we didn't tell you about this one, but post office popped in there. But I saw the box.
In a school career, the box is a grade 7. Hitting puberty, baby.
Imagine. That is like
Nice.
crazy, crazy,
Quite a
crazy,
thing,
crazy. So I shouldn't feel bad about the 4th of May later.
Nah, you shouldn't.
She was. Okay. So I believe large parts of Tshwane plunged into darkness after a transformer explodes at the electricity substation on Youth Day, Dougal. And this is news from IOL News. So apparently, prior to this explosion, there was some vandalism that happened at the substation where the cables was being stolen. So there we go. There's the fire, as you can see it. By further investigation, also, I believe there was 3 pylons that had been vandalized, which caused the power line to collapse and fall on the road. Guys, seriously, you know
Why
what?
would you?
Why? We're sitting in a crisis already. Load shedding, thank you very much. It's weather, it's raining, it's cold. I mean, you know the temperatures are dropping below 0 in Johannesburg, basically. So why would you do this to the rest of the community? Because automatically there's a lot of people as without electricity now, Dougal.
Yeah,
And this is
that's
what
the problem.
happened. So they're having to go to their houses in the dark. They can't heat themselves up. They can't put
suffering
on
at
the
large
heater.
scale, yeah.
You can't even put on a kettle of water just to bath yourself.
I don't know. Look, yeah, I shouldn't laugh. But who vandalizes a pylon? What are you going to do? You going to have a big Christmas tree in the yard? I don't know.
So true, Dougal. So true.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and you know how thick that thing is? It is massive, you know? It's massive. So, you know what? If you want to complain about being in the circumstances that you're at, start looking at who's actually cutting these pylons. And if you know or knows who's doing the vandalism, report them, because you know what? It's not only jeopardizing yourself, you're jeopardizing the rest of the community and the rest of our country, because automatically this affects everybody, businesses, everything. So please, you know what? Stop your nonsense, because you keep on wanting to steal.
Yeah,
No,
doesn't
just
work.
stop it, please.
It doesn't work. What else you got, Rhoda?
Yeah, I think I'm coming closer to the end. So the people out there that's in the city, which is the city of Cape Town, the acting MICO member for Human Settlement, Mr. James Foss, and this was in the IOL News, where they've got city warns residents of new housing scams in which potential beneficiaries are asked for cash. So guys, please. So
Who's asking for cash now?
this is scammers. These are guys that's scamming the people out of their monies, their hard-earned money, Dougal. And you know what the saddest part is? They're stealing from the vulnerable, the poor. I mean, I said I didn't want to go on a rant and a rave, but I am not in a very
Okay,
good
so let me
place.
backtrack now. So I
Yeah.
come to you and I say, okay, you want Musda RDP house, right? You're putting your name on. Pay me 1,000 rand or whatever you pay me, and I will make sure you get the house.
So this is...
But you must don't pay for the RDP house.
You don't pay for it. And this is what he's trying to say. So this is his wording. He said recently he became aware of a case in which an applicant received an email advising that she would receive a title deed. So you're going to get a title deed for a house in Watergate, Mitchell's Plain, if she paid a sum. So she had to pay a certain amount and she gets a title deed for a property.
Oh.
So he said basically residents that do not need to pay for government housing opportunities. You do not need to pay, like you said. So, and always be vigilant of hordes of potential scammers. So there's a lot of scammers out there, guys. Please be careful. So he said if you are asked to pay to register on the city's housing, this is a whole long sentence, housing needs register for a government housing, break new ground, which is called the BNG apparently, opportunities or plot city-owned land, you are being scammed, he says. Then he says, if the opportunity is advertised as a RDP house, you are being scammed. If the correspondence does not have a city letterhead, you are being scammed.
Yeah, you hadn't heard about a photocopy yet. Well done.
So please be careful, guys.
But just be careful. Just just if you're in that, do you know what, Rhoda, you always say this. I mean, we got to look after everything. I mean, if you're in something, you do your research properly, right? So do your proper, go speak to whoever has had one before, who's ever been a recipient of that, because it's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
Speak to somebody who has gone through it, who will give you their sort of personal experience. Find out what are the processes and be aware of it. Safeguard yourself. Safeguard yourself. We're getting to a point where people just accept something because somebody has set it. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work. You gotta make sure, look after yourself. Come now.
Question everything, Google. That's exactly how I look at it. You know, there's so many scammers, and it's taking your money.
Sad.
So, and I kind of, you know, Dougal, if you really look at it, the desperation of people wanting to actually own a title deed, because you want your own little property, you want your own little house, you want to put your family in a safe environment, not in a shack, in a house. So obviously, you know what, if you're putting a carrot out there and you're basically putting in a donkey, not I'm saying the person is an idiot or a donkey, it's really a case
I like to see how you get out of this one, Kimberly, come on.
You know what? It looks appetizing. You know what I'm saying? The chances of they might be going is very good, you know, because you're desperate. You're actually desperate at the end of the day. So you know what? Just be careful out there, guys. There's a lot of scammers. I mean, I got an email on Friday, and you know what? The email was so legit. It was so, I'm telling you, to the T, from the person that I know, and it's an institution it came from, very big institution. And the email was his email, the body of the email was his email, the bottom part, the signature was his, to the T, exactly, cell number, everything. And I was like, it said click on the link, and you know, one of my colleagues said, Rhoda, I got this email, I don't normally get this, but I know you deal with this gentleman. And I was like, wait, let me have a look. I said, don't click on any link. And there was like this little link that you had to click on because you had to look at the document. And I immediately called him and I said, what's going on here? Did you send a mass email out? And he's immediately, Rhoda, delete. My account has been hacked. So you know what? There's a lot of scammers out there. You need to ask the question, why? What is this all about? And if I click on that link, I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
All of our PCs would have probably been infected with some virus, or they would have linked onto our PCs. Yeah. So people, ask the questions. Don't just go and nitty-gritty give your money to just anybody, you know. So please be careful.
We had a fascinating hacking story a couple of months ago. Yeah, fascinating. I was, you know, but it started off probably a joke and just went AWOL and people couldn't find signals.
Signals?
Yeah, probably.
This is for another show.
Yeah, BSMA. The thing is, you got to be productive. You got to try and make things happen. It's the same as why roads are getting flooded, because people are throwing papers and everything everywhere. Do not be useless. Okay, look after yourself.
You really want to push on my blood pressure?
No, but I'm just saying, don't be, because there's a level of uselessness that we have, and like the licensing machine. That thing is as useless as the G in lasagna. I could never figure it out. So
you're gonna make me look at lasagna differently now.
Why is there a G in lasagna?
That's a very good question. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You need to go and have a look at it, Dougal.
So yeah. So that is it. We've got another comment in there. If they were to build the RDP houses quicker, people won't pay out of desperation to have a roof over their heads. People wait too long and resort to these deals. Just say.
So true.
Yeah, I think
I agree with you.
That could be the case.
That's why I said exactly that, desperation. People are desperate.
Could be the case.
And Dougal, I mean, I years back worked for the city, and we're going back to that one again, worked back to the city. And you know, the list in the housing department was extremely long. So, you know, a lot of corruption happened. Oh, I don't even want to read
Politicians
it.
are a waste of an ID number.
Mr. Hubert, we hear you. So, you know what? The list was very long. And I can understand the desperation. And there was elderly people on that list. And that waited for years, you know, just to get a house. So, yeah, I fully understand the desperation.
Nah, you're desperate. I mean, you go to all sorts of means. But the thing is, you got to look after yourself.
Exactly.
So, thank you, Rhoda. Is that it? I say thank you, but I don't even know. Is
There
that
was
it?
a last little thing. You're not going to mention that thing that we
Oh,
spoke
yes.
about.
No, I
because
most
it was a funny
definitely-
little thing, and I said, Togo, we need to end off with that one.
Yes, but thanks to everybody that you credited there, whether it
Yes.
was the IOL and the SABC.
It was
and who it? And the
SABC, News 24.
Thank you.
ENCA, so quite a bit. Thank you
Yeah.
very much, guys.
All right, so how is this? How much would you do for attention? How far would you go to get some proper attention? And I really mean it. What would you do? And I'm not talking about trying to woo a girl or talk a man, but do you know what I mean? How far are you willing to go? And then couple that with a bit of emotion and then you can go quite far. So how's this? There's a European gentleman, he is in Belgium, and I got the story on Sky News, which is like a weird thing. Anyway, he's a TikToker, right? So those of you who don't know, TikTok is,
TikTok.
you know, TikTok. Anyway, you all know TikTok. Be as it may. So what this guy did is he faked his own death. Yes.
Oh,
Reminiscent of Tabu Bester, my dear friend. So, there it is. He faked his own death. And he probably got the idea from Tabu.
must have.
Because there was a helicopter involved. Once again, Tabu. Anyway, so he faked his own death, and it's an elaborate prank because his wife, his kids, everybody was in on this. And one of his children posted on social media, "We'll miss you, Dad," blah, blah, blah. And obviously the whole world saw it, and everybody gave the details to the funeral, blah, blah, blah. And then everybody arrived at the funeral, only to be greeted by a helicopter. And guess who walks out? Dead man. Anyway, so there he is. And obviously now there's complete chaos because people are bewildered. What's happening? We thought you were
Just
dead.
imagine.
Do you know what I mean? Like, in heaven, helicopter, it's a bitchy, or, you know, like all of that. Anyway, and then there he is. And the reason he did it was obviously to prank, maybe he had a good sense of humor, but it is because he claims he feels underappreciated by his family.
Oh, wow.
And his loved ones and his friends and everybody. And he wanted to see and quantify who cares about him.
Oh, wow. Jeez.
Wow.
That's a weird way of doing
That's
it.
what I'm saying. How far are you willing to go? He was willing to put it in there and like literally go all the way to see who would show up,
Oh, wow.
who would arrive, and who cared about him.
Sure.
Because he claims over the years they've all grown apart, you know, everybody's got their own lives, and you don't always need the event of death to have a gathering.
Oh, wow.
The article doesn't tell us whether they had a braai or anything like that. Which, you know what I mean? Which probably they could have had if it was a cremation. But the point is, that is it. How far are you willing to
How
go? I
far?
thought it was a weird story. I wouldn't do it, but I definitely ring bells of a Tabu.
Tabu, definitely, Dougal. You know, that's like a very... Oh, look at that. The insurance came in before the helicopter. Oh, yeah. Okay, no, we need to look into that one. So, Dougal, for me,
you know
there's
what?
two sides to the story.
I wanna say insurance came before. Like, wouldn't they use One Life? We probably got dial direct. I don't want to do shout-outs to companies, but anyway, yeah. I take that back.
Take it back, take it back. You
Yeah.
didn't hear that.
Yeah, I take it back.
So
Yeah.
there's like two sides to that one. Kind of like that
you
is
go
like
that far?
no, that is a bit crazy. You know, I mean, to the extent that you want to see whose attention you're gonna get.
But Rhoda, at the end
But
of the
the
day,
yeah, I was
won.
gonna- exactly.
He got what he wanted. He got what he wanted. And it is super important. It is a way for us to end as well. The most
Exactly.
important thing is still to exercise what is important to you.
Yeah.
And that is to make sure you are surrounded by people you care about and do the things you want to do. So you are appreciated. And spend time with the people that is important to you. Do those things. You don't have to go. This dude, helicopter man, aka Tabu from Belgium, he now went a bitchy far, but it is fine.
Yeah.
It is fine. We understand why he did it.
We
but it's a
understand.
bitchy far. It's a bitchy
It's a
far.
bit too far.
Yeah.
So guys, your families are out there, your friends that's out there, appreciate them while they're still around. And this is what his message that he was trying to actually send as well, to say, you know what, appreciate the person while they're still around. And that was the lesson that he was trying to teach.
Yeah, it was. So that is it from us. But what I can say, thank you so much for all the wonderful comments. I like the idea of combining things. That is it. I'm sure somebody's going to work on an app or something. Just remember, I gave you the idea that I got from the viewer. That came on the forum, but I just want to take credit for something. So yeah, thank you. I think that it was absolutely brilliant. But it's once again, when you say something, you know, somebody says something and, you know,
it's nice. I like the interaction.
I love the
interaction. And remember, guys, it's our viewers' opinions. It's not law. It's not our opinions. We all have our own opinions at the end of the day, and that's why the show is what it is today, because we're allowing you to give your opinion. You know, nobody's here to judge you.
That's why it feels so weird, because of the Youth Day, the public holiday weekend. I got completely out of whack with days.
Exactly.
Hey?
It's Monday today, too.
Yeah,
Remember
Monday.
MahalaMonday.
Oh, yeah.
You had a long weekend.
It's in the title.
Guys, have a lovely
Is that it?
Yes, stay warm, please. Stay warm.
Salute.
Have a lovely time. Don't forget to share.
See you soon. Bye. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.